You have unread texts from Golf Buds. Would you like me to read them?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny says, what are the nicotine pouches you had on the course? Walker says, 8 milligram on nicotine pouches. Billy says, I love the mint one.
I like that one.
Walker says, me too. By the way, you both stink at golf. LOLOL.
Come on. Carry on nicotine pouches. Shop now at onnicotine.com/group text. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the treehouse. The treehouse. I accidentally mute my microphone. Off to a great start on Tuesday. I'm Dan O'Malley along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. Today is Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. I have so much to be happy about, not the least of which is the outstanding news that we all get to delude ourselves with as Cowboys fans. The news came out yesterday that Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, is not expected to return to the Dallas Cowboys and will be a head coaching free agent.
And I'm sure people are just lining up.
Well, it's look, I'm guessing the love affair is over between Mike McCarthy and the Jones family, because in case you don't remember, when the head coaching position was open a few years ago, the Jones family brought in Mike McCarthy first, and then had a sleepover at the Jones house, and then basically signed all the papers the next morning. They didn't even do any other interviews.
No, they had a jammy jam and
they had a Jones family jammy jam, and Mike McCarthy and his Cowboys onesie ended up as the head coach of the Cowboys. And now, assuming the love affair is over, because not only is he not going to return as the head coach of the Cowboys, but just last week when the Chicago Bears inquired about interviewing him, since he was still under contract with the Cowboys go, nah, you can't. No, we don't want you to do that. We don't want you to have him, but we don't want him either. Well, I mean, come on. Isn't that a little bit of a dick move?
Well, yeah. But shouldn't it be a wake-up call that a franchise that is probably a bigger dumpster fire coaching-wise than the Cowboys wants to interview Mike McCarthy?
My first thought was, hey, if you don't want him back, maybe look into a trade. Do like the NBA does, do a nice sign-in trade.
I don't think he had. I mean, his contract's up, so I think he'd have to re-sign and trade, which that's not. But
hey, you know what? Chicago is desperate. If they're so desperate to inquire about Mike McCarthy, then why not give it a shot? Just see what they'd be willing to give up.
Yeah, but what if they go, no, we don't want him, and then you've signed him again?
Oh no. It would be a clause in the contract that if we sign him, you have to take him.
But it had to have been salt in the wound that the Redskins won a playoff game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you think that was what it was? Do you think that before the playoff weekend and the Bears inquired to the Cowboys about interviewing Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys said, no, you can't? Do you think they were thinking about re-signing him until the Commanders won yesterday or Sunday, whatever it was?
It had to have been like, oh, wow, we could have had that coaching staff. Wow. And look, a quarterback that can lead a fourth quarter comeback, who can throw under pressure, who doesn't choke. And he's a rookie. He knows when to scramble, knows when to throw. A nice deep ball.
God. Trey tossing out fire.
I know.
Coming out with so hot takes in the treehouse.
Well, it's. I mean, I won't. It's not like. Well, actually, you know what? The Cowboys probably could have traded Dak and gotten a slew of picks enough to move up in the draft. I mean, it's the saddest thing probably is for the Giants when the GM's son is on. They're recording and he goes, "Yeah, you should draft Jaden Daniels." They don't.
Yeah. But I mean, Dak did restructure his contract now, so
Well,
there's 56.7 million now in cap space, which isn't a lot in the NFL, but still.
no, we're going to be like the New York Mets, who I forgot, is it Bobby Bonilla, that they have Bobby Bonilla Day, that they still every year pay him like $1 million because he restructured back in the 90s. That's going to be the Cowboys with Dak.
It really is. It really is. That is not a made up story. That is a true thing. I don't even know what year that's supposed to end, but I don't think it's anytime soon.
I think it's 2032.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a possibility, and I wonder if they structured this to where if, let's say, Bobby Bonilla dies, do his next of kin then get those payments, or does it end with his death? I'd be curious to see if his agent worked that in.
Well, it's New York. They would have killed him by now. So
Nah, it's the Mets. They would have missed.
Just clipped him a little.
Just winged him. Damn it.
Just enough. They probably have to cover his insurance. It just would have cost him more.
It's cheaper just to pay him $1 million a year.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah. It is funny though. While the three of us as ardent Cowboys fans, while we're happy that Mike McCarthy's not coming back, which by the way I thought should have happened at the end of last season, because the Cowboys came out and said, "Oh no, we're going to go all in. We're going to do things differently next year." Blah blah blah, and then they kept McCarthy around and did nothing, and basically said it's just going to be more of the same. So while there's going to be no McCarthy next year, we'll have a new head coach. As fans of the Cowboys, we'll have a new head coach. We still got Jerry Jones, so it's really it's like one half dozen of the other, whatever the saying is or how it goes.
6 to 1, half a dozen the other.
Sure. 6 Joneses and 1 McCarthy, half a dozen to the other, something like that.
Maybe
now
he'll
you
just
have
take up.
Maybe now you have the problem.
Acting. Maybe he'll just take up acting full time and go away for a while.
I'm okay with that. If Hollywood wants to pull him so hard, that he relinquishes some of the Cowboys' control, even if it's just handing it over to his son Steven.
Yeah,
let's give that a shot. Let's offer him not just a cameo in Landman, but like Trey and I said last week, let's offer him his own show. It's a Landman spinoff called Glory Hole, starring Jerry Jones. And nominate him for Golden Globes, Emmys, Oscars. I don't give a as long as he is not doing anything with the Cowboys. I don't care if he ends up with 5 EGOTs in 5 years. Give it to him. Give it to him as long as he is no longer the Caesar of the Cowboys going thumbs up, thumbs down from his booth.
Also, I would love to see what he would do to win the Tony.
Don't you remember the Papa John's commercial from a few years ago? That may be his easiest one. It was kind of a toss-up for commercial of the year between him and the old guy from the Six Flags commercials.
I mean, the Birdcage was an adaptation of La Cage aux Folles, so you see Jerry in a Gene Hackman type role. The big ending, he's dressed in drag.
I just got chills. And if this was a different type of show, I'd show you how hard my nipples are.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
Let's get Daniel Cook from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration into the Treehouse now. 833-COOK-DFW. That's the phone number to use to get your free roof inspection. The website, cookdfw.com. Daniel, I'm going to throw something at you. Bear with me for just a brief moment, okay?
I'm going to duck.
You've heard the phrase, if you see something, say something. You've heard that phrase, right?
Absolutely.
It's not just for terrorists anymore. I'm going to apply it to your business as well, because as a homeowner, if you see a little something, you need to say something to Daniel.
Yeah, that sounds exactly right. Let's not wait until something bad happens at your house. There's nothing wrong with being ahead of the curve and having us come out, do a preliminary inspection, showing you the pictures that we're seeing on top of your roof because we don't want you to get up there and slide off and break your back or anything like that. So that's why we're here. We're all young, agile. We can hop around. Some of my guys, make it look really easy. I'm kind of older, so I typically stay pretty safe all the time. Some of my guys do some pretty stupid stuff. So you might get a show and an inspection at the same time by calling us. So what do you have to lose? Let's get out there. Let's show you how your home looks from the top, and we can make sure that you're going to be protected.
833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW. Use it today, or that website, cookdfw.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. You get your free roof inspection, which is probably a good idea after these cold winter storms that we've had. Sometimes those shingles can freeze, and then that makes them a little brittle. So you need a free roof inspection from Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. Just call 833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW, or go to cookdfw.com. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. We can cancel the second brown alert. Inside the Treehouse. Happy to have you back, Raj, from your flu illness type situation. And I thought it was funny because before we started the show today, you said at one point you didn't think there was anything left to throw up, to which I pointed out, well, unless you've started puking up organs, you've got stuff left in there.
I didn't think so. I was like, you know what? I think I'm done. And then my body just went, I don't think we are. And so it just kept going. And then there was one final giant vomit. And I laid down for about an hour, and I got up and I was starving. And so got myself some very bland Indian food. Like it's a very specific Indian food that is like known for like when you're sick.
Or also known what they give to the white people?
No. Hold on one second.
I guess Raj is taking an important phone call.
Yeah.
Or he's yelling at room service.
See, this is where he'll wish he had a gun. Unexpected knock at the door.
Yeah. Room service won't come back if you shoot at him.
No, that was a maintenance guy. My TV stopped working. But no, So it's called idli sambar. It's rice cake with a little soup that goes over it.
Okay.
So it's very gentle on the stomach. So I got that, and I ate that like 3 times. And the next day, I could not stop eating, and it has not stopped since. So my body's like, we need to put that weight back on because I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to hit your 2025 resolution goals.
I look fantastic.
I'm ripped.
Six
pack and everything. I can't stand and I'm close to death. But my God, I look great. It's time for my close up, Mr.
I got the cold sweats, but I look fantastic.
I'm ready for my men's health cover now, but right before I pass out and die. So real quick, one more thing to touch on, or a couple more things really quick to touch on with the Mike McCarthy news coming out of the Dallas Cowboys that he's not going to be back as head coach of the Cowboys. I sent the story to my wife yesterday as soon as I saw it, and she followed her replies to my texts were 3 gifts in succession. One was one of the party gifts from The Office. One was Baby Yoda dancing, and the other was Snoop Dogg dancing as well. So my wife, also a huge Cowboys fan, is very excited about not having Mike McCarthy back. But she's also been a Cowboys fan her entire life. So she notes at the end of the happy celebratory gifts that not that it will make a difference as long as Jerry Jones is still there in actual text. So, yeah. So there's that dumpster fire that Trey loves to point at with the Dallas Cowboys. Going over to actual literal fires that are still happening in Southern California, around the Los Angeles area. Trey and I talked about this last week, talking about how this is going to be the costliest fire, the costliest, I think, natural disaster in U.S. history. It's going to be in the tens of billions of dollars in damages. And out of all that bad, there is the occasional good that comes out where you see the might and the spirit of the American people coming together and trying to do things for one another to help each other, not just sitting online and sniping at each other for political reasons, but actual helping one another in the way that we can actually do. And one of the ways that I'm fascinated by is I got sucked into the world of the fire pilots.
Mm-hmm.
These are the guys that fly the helicopters, the super scoopers, the planes, the helicopters, whatever aircraft is available that can grab water and dump it on these raging wildfires. Those pilots are not just pilots. They are called fire pilots.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine going into a bar anywhere, obviously not during a fire, but when things are calm, going into a fire and someone says, what do you do for like, I am a fire pilot. Business card. Holy. Okay. I actually saw, so I've seen a bunch of videos over the week and with, it's amazing. The accuracy of these fire pilots is amazing to be able to dump water on these fires. And I saw this one video I want to show you guys. And some of this I think is just training stuff. It's not necessarily from this exact fire. I think a couple shots are from the LA fire that happened. These are shots from like last week. But it shows the amazing accuracy with which these fire pilots are able to douse and these fires, from the sky. It really is amazing. Here you go. So it starts with a helicopter going like almost vertical to horizontal. It's a helicopter dropping water onto what looked to be a gas station on fire. And this is one of my favorites. This is like a 737, 740. This is a
DC-10.
It's a DC-10. Thank you, Trey. This is what was meant to be a passenger jet has now been retrofitted to fight fires. And this is a video of it coming over a ridge and dumping the pink stuff to fight fires. It is unreal. And I saw one. It was one of these jets. I saw one video. It comes over a ridge. And it looks like something out of Top Gun Maverick. Remember in Top Gun Maverick, they have to go over this ridge, down into this steep valley, and then come back up the other side. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find it to show you, but there was a video I saw over the weekend of one of these former passenger jets coming over a ridge, going down, dropping its payload to douse a fire, and then coming right back up. And it's unreal, and it gives me chills every single time.
But you also... those aren't fighter jets. Those are big, bulky passenger aircraft. And to get them, to slow down enough, and then you're dropping, and then you've got to hit the thrust, get the engines up and then pull up. I mean, that is some next level stuff.
Uh-huh. I look, I think we found the sequel to the sequel of Top Gun. So you had Top Gun, then Top Gun Maverick, and now we need Top Gun Fire Pilot. The Revenge of Sundown.
If it's not a movie sequel, it's coming soon to CBS.
It absolutely
That's
will.
what I was going to say, Trey.
It absolutely will. Yeah, because
Fire Pilot Chicago.
No, absolutely. It's going to be in every major city. Fire Pilot Chicago, Fire Pilots LA, Fire Pilots Austin. That's going to happen. Although it might be more interesting if it's Fire Pilots Fredericksburg, because not only do they got to dump wine in the wildfire, but they need to cool off the soccer moms in town for the wine festivals. But yeah, I mean, absolutely. These wildfires are going to inspire countless TV shows and movies. And it really is. Fire Pilots is a great name for a new show.
Oh yeah, they're gonna do it for sure.
So the jets, the passenger jets are one thing. I mean, it's incredible, like you were saying, Trey, what they're able to do with these jets that weren't intended to do these things. But then you get the helicopter pilots that start doing like some Airwolf level, like this guy. So this is a helicopter. He's got one of those buckets, one of those water buckets dangling from underneath the helicopter, and then he just drops the scoop and then turns vertical. He does some sort of maneuver I didn't think a helicopter was supposed to do unless it was about to crash.
Some folks are born made to wake up. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
And here's one of a helicopter dropping water right in front of the balcony of someone's house to a wildfire below it.
And when the band plays hail to the chief, ooh, I want the cannon at you now. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no Senator song. It ain't me.
Look at that.
It ain't me.
Going God knows how many knots and dropped a whole bucket of water, hundreds of gallons of water on a spread of wildfire and snuffed it out. Unreal.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Meanwhile, there's the idiots that these wildfires have also brought out, which includes some moron who was flying his drone around and ended up grounding one of the super scooper water planes out of Canada because it ran into it.
Wow.
Dicks. You got people doing selfies in front of fires. You got idiot drone pilots trying to get video of the fires, and it's getting in the way of actual firefighting efforts. Fucking morons.
And now you have landlords gouging people who are, desperate for housing.
Yeah, what was the number on that?
There was one place that it's the realtor from the Netflix show, like.
Oh, Selling Sunset?
Yeah. And he said he had one place they were asking for 13,000. He had a client offer them 20 or 21,000 and paying 6 months up front. And the guy came back and said, no, I want 23,000.
Because he knows that there's not a lot of options right now.
Yeah. So there's price gouging.
It's pretty impressive. Even while burned to the ground, Southern California finds a way to people.
Even when it's not burning, like my apartment in Sherman Oaks, which is right now under the evacuation order. When I first moved in 2012, it was 1175, 680 square feet, secure building, underground parking, gym, the whole 9 yards. When I moved out during COVID, the last rent check I gave was $23.35, which then that was 8 years later. Mm-hmm. So every year it's going to go up. Now that same apartment runs for $37.35.
Well, if it burns down, the price will come down.
That's true.
Maybe to like $2,000 a month, and the security deposit will be a lot lower.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
It is time to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. Just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com, to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. That's treehouseonair@gmail.com to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. Dan and Trey and Raj back inside the Treehouse with you. So wildfires, Cowboys fires, all kind of interesting stuff going on. And just so I can throw it out to you, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on my dry January. So far, so good. Because now it's Tuesday. We did drink a little bit on the 1st, so we didn't actually start the dry January until January 2nd. But here we are. That's 12, 13 days in now. Mm-hmm. And I'm still dry. Still dry, going mostly strong. Although I will admit, I almost had a moist Monday yesterday. It's weird because like the first few days was actually fine. I think the toughest day I've had so far of trying to stick with dry January was about a week in. So yesterday on Monday was kind of tough because Monday is a day that we typically would go have a drink and get some food and bring it home. Usually because Mondays are long days for me and my wife. But I think the toughest might have been Saturday. and I was kind of edgy that day, and I can't figure out why. And I started thinking about it on Sunday, and I thought maybe it's just because I wasn't having anything to drink. So is that common, Trey? You are 8-year sober expert inside the Treehouse. Just some days, worse than others, or is there any rhyme or reason to it?
Well,
habit or what?
Yeah, because you're breaking your customary, things you do. And so, yeah, it can lead to edginess, temperamental, you're you're breaking the social norms. So it sometimes even, sometimes it helps, like, go out and have a non-alcoholic beer, do your same thing. But
go through the motions, just don't still go to we've done that a couple of times where we've gone to a bar and just had club soda, or I had a Diet Coke one time. So yeah, still going through the motions and having the habit and the routine that I'm used to, but just not having an alcoholic beverage while doing it.
Like I lost a sponsor because I refused to quit going into bars.
Bud Light, that made Bud Light angry.
AA sponsor. And I never drank Bud Light.
Terrible joke. It's also an easy shot at Bud Light.
Jack Daniels would have been funny.
Well, that would have been accurate.
Yeah. But
when you quit drinking, Jack Daniels' stock price went in the toilet.
But I knew if I didn't, I would become a total recluse, because I wouldn't talk to anybody, wouldn't see anybody, whatever. And that would have been worse for me than, already your life is falling the F apart. So, I continued. I would go in and, sometimes have an NA beer, sometimes just have a Diet Coke. But I didn't want to become a total recluse and, just at least say hi to people. I wouldn't stay long or anything else.
Yeah.
So,
It's difficult for me because in addition to trying the dry January thing, when I quit smoking, I told you guys before, part of what made that so difficult is because the habit of it, not just the addiction to the substance, but the habit of it, the routine. I am a huge creature of habit. I'm a routine machine. I love doing things the same way every single time, all the time. So that's almost as difficult, if not more so, than the addiction to the substance.
Yeah, no, my dad, that was, he was I think he smoked for 27 years, and he called it the ceremony of smoking.
Yeah,
getting the pack of cigarettes out, getting one, packing it, the whole 9 yards. And he said that was, as hard or harder than the actual, getting off nicotine.
It was interesting too, because when I was quitting smoking, we were also watching Mad Men, and that's a show where it's known. I mean, it's drinking, smoking, and philandering. That's what the three main tenets of the show were. And there's a cigarette in, I think, just about every scene. But one of the interesting things I hadn't expected when I quit smoking is getting angry at people when they were actors and they're acting like they're smoking, and you can tell that they've never been actual smokers because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to do it.
Yeah, they don't know how to hold it. They don't
know how to hold it. They don't know how to puff it. They don't know how to draw. They don't know how to blow it. And those things would make me angry. I'm like, just don't even do it. Just stop it. Just can stop it. Put the thing down. Just can go away. Don't even fake it if you can't make it look real. That's how angry I was after I quit smoking, watching people trying to do it on TV. I'm like, see, I can't even hit my bleep in the right thing. It's put that thing down. It's just, you're making, you're embarrassing yourself. While other people that knew what they were doing go like, oh yeah. That's the good stuff right there. Kind of like Trey, your new favorite show on TV right now is Landman. I'll give you a really good example of that. Billy Bob Thornton is a smoker. If I didn't know he was a smoker, all you got to do is watch one episode of Landman. That mother right there is a smoker, And I think that's half the reason why he took the role is because he could just keep smoking on set. He didn't have to put it down and wait. He didn't have to go to a smoking section by craft services or anything like that. He could just do it right there in the scene. Didn't matter. Yeah. I'm not even sure if it called for his character to smoke, but he probably went to Taylor Sheridan, the character, and said, you know what? I think he should smoke. And Taylor Sheridan said, okay.
No, I think they just told Billy Bob, smoke whenever you want. Because it's in the car, it's in a building, it doesn't matter.
Everywhere, like that one scene in that one scene, he's smoking a cigarette in front of a cop, in front of a hospital where it says no smoking. And then what does he do when the cop tells him to put it out? He flicks it on the ground.
Yeah. Dan, do you now get angry when you see like a pegging scene? You don't think they're doing it right?
I'm going to say something to you, Trey. and just like a pegging scene, I can't say it hard enough. You.
At least you got the beep right.
Dead center.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you like the Treehouse show, then you will love us on social media. So give us a follow at Treehouse on Air. That is our social media handle across all the major social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, X, Facebook, TikTok for however much longer it's going to be around. It's at Treehouse on Air across all platforms, not platforms, at Treehouse on Air. Dan, Trey, and Raj with you inside the Treehouse. I'm going to start reading a headline to you guys, right? And when I get to a weird part, or when I get to a part that makes you uncomfortable or makes you raise an eyebrow, I want you to raise your hand, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone got it? Okay. So here we go. Remember, raise your hand when it starts to get weird. A man has been arrested. Okay, look around. No hands. All right. For having sexual contact. Look around the room. No hand from Trey. No hand from Raj. Although a raised eyebrow from Trey, so he's intrigued, but not quite weird yet. A man has been arrested for having sexual contact with a horse. All right, got a hand raised from Trey and a hand raised from Raj. That's not all, gentlemen. That's not the weirdest that this story's going to get. The full headline is thus: a man has been arrested for having sexual contact with a horse's nostril.
Yep.
Of all the holes, look, being attracted to a horse in that manner is already bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
But then to take it to a whole other level, to where it's not just you're sexually attracted to a horse, but one of the off holes of the horse. I am both disturbed and fascinated. A man in Florida was arrested last month after police allege he made sexual contact with a horse and tried to put his penis in its nose.
This is where this story, where it really, having grown up and raised horses, the thing that is probably the just absolutely beyond just the disgusting nature of this story, but the thing where it just baffles the mind. Have you ever seen a horse's teeth? They like to bite.
Yeah, he's real lucky that the horse didn't mistake his penis for a carrot.
Or his testicles for an apple.
It'd be a compliment and a death sentence. 53-year-old Donald Calloway was arrested on December 26th in Lake Wales, Florida. Police say they received a call about alleged sexual activities involving an animal. Police say an unnamed witness wanted to remain anonymous. Police say an unnamed witness told them she saw a man masturbating next to the head of a 28-year-old horse named Raven. The witness also alleged the man was tapping his member against the horse's nose and claims he attempted to insert it into the nostril. Police say this witness claims this man continued to pleasure himself while touching the horse. Police say they received a video from the witness which shows exactly what she described to them. Calloway touching himself while next to the horse before tapping the horse with his penis. Officers say the video doesn't actually show the man inserting his penis, but they added that his actions and movements make it seem like he's certainly trying to. Police then confronted him, and they say Calloway called the decision dumb, adding, "I haven't had any sex in probably 2 months, and maybe it was just a sexually frustrated moment." He was arrested and booked on 1 count of sexual contact with animals. He's still in jail, and so there you have it. So it's not enough to try to have sex with a horse, but more specifically to try to have sex with a horse's nostril.
That's just I don't have words. That's just the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Do you guys remember the game I Got Your Nose?
Maybe that's how they play it.
The Florida version is really up.
Good thing he wasn't trying to play pin the tail on the donkey.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You can get even more Treehouse when you subscribe to Treehouse Plus. Bonus content and subscriber-only episodes, including video, are available on our Patreon. Patreon.com/treehouseonair, Patreon.com, patreon.com/treehouseonair. That's patreon.com/treehouseonair to get Treehouse Plus. All right, guys, today is Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. Let's celebrate with some birthdays. What do you say? From TV's The Flash, Grant Gustin turns 35. He plays Barry Allen on TV's The Flash. I think the show is over now, but or is stopped finally. But Grant Gustin, he turns 35 today. And sort of like the Treehouse version of 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, you know. Our buddy, actor and comedian Tone Bell had a 2 or 3 guest starring role on The Flash a handful of years ago. That was fun. It's fun to see him. That was, and the good news is that was a show I actually watched already, not just because our buddy was in it.
Same. Yeah.
It was a nice change. Usually when I watch stuff that Tone was in, it was because he was in it. And I was like, okay, got to support my buddy. But that was the first time I was watching a show and he happened to get a guest spot. And I was like, yeah, it's a show I already watched. That works out. I still haven't seen the movie with him on Netflix with Tone and Jessica Alba. I forget what it's called. It's like hard.
It's good. He's good.
I heard it started out with a war crime, like the inciting incident in the movie is a war crime, but they don't pay any attention to that part.
Yes, very much so. But he's really good at it.
Other birthdays today. Jordan Ladd turns 50. She's the daughter of Charlie's Angel star Cheryl Ladd. In case you're curious, Jordan is the blonde in Cabin Fever. She's also one of Kurt Russell's first victims in Death Proof and the mom of the killer baby in the 2009 movie Grace. Wait, there's a movie about a killer baby and I haven't seen it? All right. Let me make a quick.
That stuns us all.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me make a quick note here. Grace, 2009. Killer baby. All right. Okay. Duly noted. Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters and Nirvana is 56 today. Jason Bateman, also 56 today. From Horrible Bosses. He was on Arrested Development. Tons of things Jason Bateman has been in. And the most recent thing I saw him in was Carry On Netflix, the movie on Netflix where it's about the TSA agent. And the bad guy in it is Jason Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
really good as a bad guy. I was curious. That was half the reason I wanted to see the movie. It was just because I was curious to see Jason Bateman as a bad guy. Man, he nailed it.
And don't forget Teen Wolf 2.
Thank you for that, Raj. He was Teen Wolf 2, TOO. Because Michael J. Fox said, "No, I'm good with Teen Wolf 1."
Yeah.
Jason Bateman, though, in the 80s wasn't as big of a star as he is now. So he's like, I'll do it.
It's crazy to think is his sibling Justine was the bigger star in the 80s.
Yeah. She really was. She was
Family Ties.
Family Ties, yeah. With Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Oh, full circle going on there. Jason Bateman, 56 years old today. LL Cool J is 57. Zach Wilde from the band Black Label Society, also former guitarist for Ozzy. He is 58. And speaking of 80s Hollywood queens, Carrie Green is 58. She played Andy Carmichael in The Goonies. She's also the cheerleader that Corey Haim falls for in the movie Lucas. Carrie Green, 58 today. She was I'll admit, little Danny from the 80s. Carrie Green was someone I had a little bit of a crush on back in the day.
I don't know who that is. Those two movies. I've seen some of Lucas, not all of it. And then The Goonies I never saw.
Yeah, but just imagine the pitch meeting in Hollywood when they're like, okay, just imagine this. Corey Haim tries to play football.
Doesn't he have cancer or something in that movie?
Yeah, I don't even remember what it is. I don't know. Maybe he had lupus and like their creativity was at an all-time low. And they said, let's have a movie with Corey Haim trying to play football. His name's Lucas and he has lupus. But no one will connect those dots because it'll have Carrie Green from the Goonies and Charlie Sheen will be in it as well. Everyone will love it.
That's so weird. Like the pitch meeting is like, so the name of the movie is Lupus, and somebody just can't hear. And it's like, I think he said Lucas. Let's just do it. Let's
be honest. I think that's how a lot of movies in the 80s got made.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you miss any part of the Treehouse show, you can catch up with the Treehouse podcast, available on all major platforms like Spotify, the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Amazon Music, and more. Or you can just go to treehouseonair.com, choose your platform, or listen right there on the website. It's the Treehouse podcast, available at treehouseonair.com. Dan and Trey and Raj with you inside the Treehouse. We were just talking about Carrie Green, the actress best known for roles in the 80s, is 58 today, including the film Lucas. And I had to look it up because I know the movie starred Corey Haim and Carrie Green, obviously, and it also had Charlie Sheen, but I couldn't remember what the actual plot was because it's been so long since I've seen it.
I don't think he had. Did he? I don't think he had any disease. I think he just was a small nerd. They like catching bugs.
I think you're right. I think I'm just misremembering and just trying to insert some sort of ailment onto his character that wasn't actually there.
Maybe asthma or something. I don't know.
Didn't he die in the movie?
No.
No, you're thinking of My Girl with Macaulay Culkin.
No, I thought he died in the movie. The only reason I know about this movie is because when I tell my story about playing football in high school, when I my freshman year, I was 5'3" and 96 pounds. somebody sent me a picture of Corey Haim in his football uniform, and I was like, "Yeah, slap a 10 on him. That's me."
I pulled it up on IMDb about Lucas. A socially inept 14-year-old experiences heartbreak for the first time when his two best friends, Cappy, played by Sheen, an older brother figure, and Maggie, played by New Girl, who's the new girl, with whom he is in love, fall for each other. So a socially inept 14-year-old experiences heartbreak for the first time when his two best friends, Charlie Sheen and Kerry Green, fall in love with each other. And I do remember near the end, I guess, or I don't know if it was near the end. Again, maybe I should go back and watch the movie to remember some of these details. But I remember Corey Haim's character gets into he puts on football pads and stuff, puts on the uniform, and he goes into a game somehow, and they're worried about him getting killed, rightfully so. So yeah, Raj, this movie is sort of loosely based on your life.
Okay, I don't know why I thought there was like some weird ending where he dies, or I don't know.
No, the ending is he comes back to school after being in the hospital from being in the football game, and they're crowding his locker. Then they part ways, open up his locker, and he has a Letterman's jacket in there. And
man. That did not happen for me.
was there a slow clap in there as well? That feels like
I think there was
like
a
slow clap moment.
If I remember correctly, it starts with banging on the locker, slow bang on the locker, then a clap, then everyone's cheering for him.
Oh God,
I wish I had that moment. they just told me to quit.
You had the opposite. You had the opposite reaction from everybody. You remember in Rudy when all the seniors turned in their jerseys to make sure Rudy could play?
Yeah.
Raj's version is very different.
Yeah. They just took mine.
And then they hid you in the locker and then pounded on it. Make sure to never see the field ever. Actually, I think that would make a great spoof movie. We can take Rudy and Raj and combine the two. And even Vince Vaughn might reprise his role. Maybe he gets to be coach. Oh, man. Thanks for hanging out with us inside the Treehouse. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. You can also find and follow us on social media. For the show, it's at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. And for Raj, it's at Comedian Raj. We'll see you tomorrow right here inside the Treehouse.